Hi guys, Jenny here, and this is going to be my second review video, so yay! In this video I'm going to be reviewing Minutemen from the Before Watchmen series. Now the Before Watchmen series consists of 7 individual parts. You have the Minutemen and 6 members from the Watchmen, and there's also going to be an 8th addition to this collection, and it's going to be about Moloch, who is one of the villains from Watchmen, so I think that should be really cool. So yeah, let's get right into it. Minutemen is written and illustrated by Darwin Cook, who's also the writer for Silk Spectra, I believe, and this is a series of 6. There's only 3 out right now. I'm not sure when the 4th one's coming out, hopefully soon, because I really enjoyed this series. So yeah, let me just show you briefly the covers to the issues. The first issue, we have Night Owl, the first Night Owl, otherwise known as Hollis Mason, looking all heroic. And I really like this picture because it looks like it was shot out of a 1940s newspaper article or something. It looks really cool. I mean, I really dig it. And the second issue, on the cover of the second issue, we have Comedian during his younger days. And Comedian joined the Minutemen when he was fairly young, so he has all this energy, and he's mostly like the muscle for the Minutemen group, so you see a lot of excitement from him. And in the 3rd issue, the cover of the 3rd issue, we have the Silhouette, who is absolutely one of my favorite characters. This issue, I think if you're a big Batwoman fan, or if you ever read any Batwoman comics, I think you're going to really enjoy it, because I feel like Batwoman and the Silhouette are closely similar to each other. So yeah, let me just give a brief overview on what this series was about. So in the first issue, it's just a basic introduction on who the members of the Minutemen. Let me just give a brief rundown on who the members are. So unlike Watchmen, Minutemen consist of 8 members. So first we have Hooded Justice, second we have Sally Jupiter, third we have Night Owl, 4th Edward Blake, otherwise known as the Comedian, 5th we have Brian Lewis, otherwise known as Mothman, we have Dollar Bill, and we have Ursula, otherwise known as the Silhouette, and then we have Nelson Gardner, otherwise known as Captain Metropolis, who actually formed the Minutemen group together. So in the first issue, it's just a basic introduction to all these characters, and the storyline first starts off with when Hollis Mason is retired, and he's now he's writing his book about his experience as a vigilante, and it's really cool. He's he's having like these flashback moments of when he was in the Minutemen group, and it was so this story is told in his point of view, and I think Darwin Cook did an excellent job with the storyline. I mean, he wasn't too extreme with the storyline. I mean, he kept it similar to Alan Moore's storyline structure, so nothing really changes. So if you're a Watchmen fan, you don't have anything to worry about. Nothing drastically changes, like the characters don't really change, but I'm really glad that they really extended the storyline for the Silhouette, because in the 3rd issue, it's just she's known as the protector of children because she busts down a lot of child pornography rings. So she takes her line of work really seriously. I mean, her motto is that the children matter, which she makes evidently clear in the series. So that's what I admire about her. So yeah, and she sort of has a feud with Sally Jupiter because she's more for the publicity and she's not really like a crime fighter. I mean, in some parts she does do her role as a crime fighter, but it's a very small part in the series. So maybe the other three she'll probably make a comeback. I don't know, I highly doubt it. So yeah, if you read the Watchmen series prior to reading the Minutemen series, you'll highly agree that nothing really changed. It's mostly all the same, which is good. And I just want to briefly talk about the second issue. The second issue is just mostly about when they start working as a unit, they start embarking on missions that Captain Metropolis gives to them. And I think in the second issue or the third issue, I think the second, I'm confident it's in the second issue, comedian rapes Sally Jupiter, which is actually a big turning point for the Minutemen because this is what gets him kicked out of Minutemen. And then after that, he gets recruited by this FBI agent, and during most of his career he works closely with the FBI. And in the third issue, like I said before, it's just mostly talking about the silhouette, and it's a really emotional tearjerker, this issue. So I mean, I think the third issue was my favorite so far. The first one is just sort of a basic rundown of the characters and like where they came from, how the group came to be. So it's like an origin, and then it starts getting into the heavy stuff. So yeah, I really like this series. I do recommend it. I don't know when the fourth one's coming out, like I said before, but I do highly recommend this series. So yeah, and I also want to briefly talk about this magazine article I found on MTV Geeks about Alan Moore signing off on the Before Watchmen series, where people are debating whether he's a hero or whether he's a fool. People are debating about that. And Jay Lee, there's a few words said by Jay Lee. I can't quote them exactly, but there's a few words by him in there. And basically, if you ever watched Watchmen or V for Vendetta, you know that Alan Moore doesn't really put his name in his film adaptations, which sparks a lot of curiosity in people. But Alan Moore makes it evidently clear that he's not interested in the money. But then Jay Lee's like, well, he makes tons of money as it is, so what difference does it make, basically? But I do recommend you read the article. I'll put the link to it in the description box below so you guys can check it out. It's a really good article. It's very short, so it shouldn't take too much of your time. And also, I want to briefly talk about this magazine my friends and I have created. We haven't had an official name for it yet, so don't mind the page title. It's just temporary. And I believe the magazine consists of my friend Isabel, Evan, Sandra. I'm not sure the other members myself. I think that's it, but I think you guys will really dig this article. It's very cosmopolitan. There's going to be a DIY section, a music section. Hopefully Evan does a horror section. I haven't mentioned that to him, but if you're watching this video, Evan, please do a horror section. I think it's going to be amazing. My friend Isabel, I think she's doing like music and art section, and I think with her friend Sandra, they got like this interview from this band member from this punk band, so it should be really good. I think you guys would really dig it. Yeah. Can you dig it? Yeah, I had to pull that one, I'm sorry. But if you know what movie that's from, props. And yeah, I just want to give a shout out to one of my friends. I want to give a shout out to Gio, so hi Gio. He actually requested that I look into some Dr. Doom comics, which is what I've done. I went to my local comic book shop, and the guy recommended a Fantastic Four series with Dr. Doom in it. Now, I'm not a big fan of Fantastic Four, to be honest with you. I think the old Fantastic Four is better, I think, than the new Fantastic Four. But, this is what I got. and it has Dr. Doom in it, and he plays like a major role in this issue. But I'll be doing a review on that much later, because right now I'm just focusing on Before Watchmen. And next week I'm going to be reviewing Rorschach, so that should be really cool. I mean, look at the cover. I'm just going to show you a preview of it. I mean, that's cool, right? That's cool. And this second issue just came out, so here it is. Yeah, so it's really cool. I'll be doing that next week. So, all in all, with the Minutemen series, I do recommend it. It's really great. I love Darwin Cook's illustrations. There's something very nostalgic about them. Like, I'll show you one of his examples really quick. I don't know, it's just this nostalgic feeling about it. It's really cool. I mean, it's just amazing. I love his artwork. It's just really cool. And what I also like about it is that in the back of every issue, there's a story called The Curse of the Crimson, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Corsair? I don't know, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, but it's similar to how Alan Moore paralleled the story of the Black Friday with the Watchmen story, and how they're paralleling the Before Watchmen stories with The Curse of the Crimson Sea. I'm just going to call it the Crimson Sea because I can't pronounce the other part, but I'll put the title in the description box below. And I like how they're very similar in that aspect. Like I said, if you're a big Watchmen fan, do not worry, nothing has changed drastically with any of these issues, I find. So yeah. I also want to show you briefly oh my gosh, I'm so excited about getting this issue. I just got it today, and it's Batman Detective Comic number 13, and this has Penguin in it. Oh my gosh, this issue was such a spine chiller. It gave me the chills. Like, it was amazing. And I do recommend it to all my Batman fans out there, and I know there's a lot of you, so I think you guys would really like this issue. I mean, I'm going to be doing a review on this much later, but also just some heads up, on October 10th, the second issue of Dr. Manhattan from the Before Watchmen series is coming out, and also, I believe, Batgirl number 13 from Death of the Family Prologue, I believe that's what it's called. It's coming out on the 10th as well. And I think the Joker's coming back in that one, so that should be awesome. I mean, the Joker making his big comeback this month. You all should be hyped. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great week. Sorry I'm posting this video so late. I had a lot of problems posting this video up. I was literally about to throw my computer out the window. It came to that extreme. But yeah, I mean, I really recommend the Minutemen series. It's not my favorite. I think my favorite from this series would have to be Rorschach. But I think you guys would really like Minutemen just as like a recap. And like I said, nothing drastically changes. Mostly things stay the same. But Darwin Cook does take a creative route towards, like, with the story structure. And he clearly expresses that in his second and third issue. As in the first issue, he just sort of lays out the foundation. So yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for next week's review, which is going to be Rorschach. So that should be a good one. And don't forget to check out the magazine. I'm going to put a link to our magazine page in the description box below, so check that out. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye. And thanks for tuning in.